This episode is sponsored by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro for free at RamseySolutions.com/invest. You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk investing, retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity.
Jason's with us in Hartford, Connecticut. Hey, Jason, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave. How you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up, man?
Okay. Yeah, I'm a long-time listener, and I'm a long-time saver. I was hoping you could answer a question regarding a retirement disagreement between my wife and I. I'm 54. She's 51. I'd like to retire next year at 55. I feel like I have enough savings to retire comfortably, maybe possibly do a side gig, and she doesn't feel like we do. So just asking for some advice.
Well, retirement's not a feeling, so that's at least some consolation to you. We can look at some facts and data to go, all right, do you have the finances to retire? Is your nest egg big enough?
How much is your nest egg, dude?
Around $2.5 million.
So she needs more than a couple $100,000 a year to live on?
Apparently so.
What's your current expenses?
Right now we're probably about $8,000 a month.
Okay, so you need $100,000 a year to live, and
Correct.
$2.5 million invested in good mutual funds. If it made 10%, would be $250,000, right?
Correct.
Now you probably don't have access to all of that at 54, do you?
No, she's going to be younger, so she will probably work until
No,
59 and a half.
You can't access all the $2.5 million now at 54 years old because some of it's in 401s, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Some of it is in
59
Roth
and a
as well.
half before you get to it, right?
Yeah.
Have you got
but
some
she
money to
could-
live on until you get to 59 and a half?
Well, she's actually employed. She's makes most of the money in the household. So
What does she make?
She makes around $160 a year.
Okay. And your expenses are $8,000. So if you weren't even there, she'd be okay.
Correct.
I think she's trying to tell you something.
No, I just want to get out of the corporate. race a
Okay,
little bit.
so there's a couple things. Mathematically, the answer is you're just fine, and I just outlined why.
Yep.
As soon as you get access to $2.5 million, if it's invested well, if you pull off 8 or 10% of that a year, regardless of whether she's working, you easily are going to make more than it takes to cover your expenses, right?
Correct.
It's a math thing, like George said. It's not a feeling. But I think there's a lot more going on here than this.
Well, we're completely debt free. We have no credit card.
No, I
debt,
mean, she
no
doesn't want you
card-
sitting at home on your butt at 54 years old. Is what it is.
No, it's not the. It's just going to be a career change for me. I'm very handy.
Okay,
and,
side hustle is different.
Yep.
You know,
I want to retire and do a side hustle.
it's not a side hustle. It's a business. Retire and open a business.
yeah. Okay. Well, we'll call it a business.
Yeah, let's start a small business idea that makes more than you used to make in corporate.
Yep.
And then none of this is an issue. So I just can't recommend. I'm 63, and I can't recommend you do nothing. It's not worked out for most of my friends. They die.
No, I'm not going to do anything. Trust me. We have a younger son that I actually want to spend the summers with. So the business would give me the flexibility to schedule work based on his school schedule. So if he was home in the summers, I could spend more time with him. So this is kind of a work-life balance thing for me.
Yeah. You have the money to do whatever you want. I'm now moving from financial to life. Do something, okay? Babysitting your kid in the summers, going from with the net worth you have, is your only goal, and calling that life balance and making it sound cool it's going to wear pretty thin quick, dude. You're going to want to go do something with your life, and you're too young to do nothing. You're too valuable in the marketplace. So go do something with your life. That's just guy to guy right there. That has nothing to do with the math. The math is you're just fine. And I kind of think in this argument with your wife, she's a little bit worried about that.
I don't think so, because I'm pretty involved in all kinds of activities and civics. And
that's not the same thing.
So, well, I have a lot of activities to keep me busy. That's sure.
Not the same thing. I'm talking about
So
being of marketplace value, not simply serving the JCs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you can do whatever you want to do. I'm not belittling you for that. I'm just trying to listen to what's going on here, because there's nothing in this math that says you can't quit cold today. All the math says you can quit.
Well, the issue for her is she just doesn't think we have enough. That's the thing. She's just worried that we're going to run out of money.
Have you shown her the expenses and the net income and what the retirement accounts will do?
Yeah, we've already met with a planner, and he says we're good to go as well. So,
Well, then she just doesn't believe the data at that point.
Well, lady that
fears.
makes $160,000 a year is not stupid. So what is she really saying? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, she's come from a family where everybody works.
She didn't come from a family where math didn't work. Math works in all families.
She doesn't believe the math, I'm telling you.
Well, then that's a different issue. But she's not too stupid to believe the math. She's not wanting to believe it for some reason, and that's your core issue. It's not, do I have enough to retire? It's how do I deal with my situation? So I have a friend I talked to the other day. He's like the sixth guy to ever go through Financial Peace University.
Wow.
He called me up, and I met with his grandson. That's how long ago this was, right? Met with his grandson the other day, who's a millionaire, because this guy went through Financial Peace University. Pretty cool. So, but the first time him and his wife walked in, she was a real estate agent, and they had $4 million. They were in their 50s, and she thought she worked like 80 hours a week selling real estate. She could not relax. And I sat down with the math, and I showed her the exact same math that he had been showing her, that $400,000 a year 30 years ago. Wow. $400,000 a year 30 years ago. You know, you've got enough. You don't have to be in freak-out mode. She relaxed, calmed down, ended up selling more real estate because she wasn't in freak-out mode all the time. But there was something, it was an emotional thing, like with Jason's wife. Because Jason's wife, the lady I'm talking about, is not dumb. She's brilliant. And Jason's wife's not dumb. They don't generally pay dumb people $160,000 for much of anything. Generally. It's not for long, anyway. It catches up with you being dumb. But
is it the security gland flaring up?
It could be.
A scarcity mindset, potentially?
It's like I knew a guy that was a billionaire, and I asked him why he worked all the time, and he said, I grew up dirt poor. And I'm like, well, I get that. And he goes, no, like the floor in our house was dirt. Wow. That's dirt poor in Appalachia. And he goes, I can't get that out of my system, so I work all the time. I'm like, that's not a math problem. That's not a financial problem. That's a psychological problem. You have a wound from your past, a trauma that you've not overcome. Mm. And that's a Dr. John Delony answer. It's not a George Kamel, Dave Ramsey answer, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of that has to be dealt with if you're going to ever think it's enough. Because at some
never
point, you got $20 million.
This guy had $1 billion.
It could all go away at any time, so I got to keep stacking, stacking.
Yeah, and listen, you can't get enough. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Financial peace. Two words that don't go together, like airline service, right?
Thanks for tuning in to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. To learn more about investing, visit RamseySolutions.com/investing or click the link in the show notes. Ramsey Solutions is a paid non-client promoter of participating pros. Learn more at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.